Hi everyone, my name is Alexandra Abramova and you're watching Sportlife show on M1 Global TV channel. Gorilla MMA Series-30, Kulikovo Field 7 took place on April 17th in Kaliningrad. It was a broad event, 11 fights of all tastes, and we will begin our review with a tale about a mysterious man. Well, Konstantin Lee. He made his professional debut at MMA last year at the age of 38, but therefore he didn't get lost among young fighters. By the 30th event, he had 2 career victories ahead of schedule in the first rounds, and both in our series. And he also won in the first round in Kaliningrad. And now about a mystery of this fighter, specifically about the questions that arise. First question, Konstantin, where did he hide until 38 years? Second question, how do rivals prepare for the fights with Konstantin Lee if for 3 fights he spent in octagon only 3 minutes 10 seconds and hardly demonstrated the whole of his arsenal? And finally, how will Lee feel if the fight lasts more and he has to spend a little more time in the octagon? Will he have enough stamina? The answers to these questions will only be given by the time and future fights of Konstantin Lee in the Gorilla MMA Series. And a few words about how Konstantin earned the victory on April 17th in Kaliningrad. His opponent Alexander Makhnev led his MMA debut. He tried rapidly to make a pass into the feet, but he made a mistake and immediately fell for the submission. And Makhnev fell asleep on the 34th second. Now about another anniversary happened at the last event. The 300th fight in the Gorilla MMA Series event was here.
MMA Series.
Heavyweights Dmitry Andrushko and Denis Yuzura have come together in this anniversary fight. Big guys always attract the attention of audiences and specialists, especially when they have a lot of experience behind their backs. This fight was already the 28th in MMA for Yuzura. Andrushko had just 2 fights in MMA by now, but a great experience in close disciplines allowed our commentators to immediately call him the favorite. And Andrushko fully justified his status. He won confidently. Dmitry dominated in the first round, though his advantage was not overwhelming. But he started the second round more aggressively. A transfer to the portiere followed, and Andrushko being on top no longer gave victory. Minutes before the end of the second round, the referee stopped the fight, recording his victory with a technical knockout. Now let's look at the 2 fights that were singled out by our American commentator Jan Batlin, commentating for the Gorilla MMA Series events for an English-speaking audience.
Grant Babakekian was absolutely phenomenal. Every single shot he threw seemed to land, sharp knees, sharp punches, and that flying knee into a mounted guillotine was probably the best finish I've seen on the MMA Series in 30 shows. But it was still overshadowed by the fighter of the night and the main event winner, Sergey Bobryshev. That man showed the heart of a lion after having a very tough first round. After that slip, he was dominated in the first round. He gritted his teeth, showed heart, and came back and showed why he is a deserved champion and one of the top fighters on the MMA Series.
Grant Babakekian. This was his 3rd fight in the Gorilla MMA Series and his 6th in the career. He suffered his only defeat in the very first fight, having conceded victory by the decision of judges to Zygimantas Linauskas. 4 early wins followed, 2 by knockouts and 2 by techniques. In Kaliningrad, Grant Babakekian had no problem fighting against Murat Shakbanov, who came to this fight with 3 victories and 0 losses. Grant was comfortable in the stand-up. He even definitely offered to rise the opponent, who time and time again found himself in a position of lying on a canvas. He played with the opponent. It was as if the referee would stop the fight with a technical knockout. But Babakekian once again demonstrated the diversity of his arsenal. In the middle of the second round, Grant easily held a suffocating reception and recorded his 5th consecutive early victory. It was the variety of techniques demonstrated that finally led our commentator to call his performance phenomenal. And now finally to the main fight, Sergey Bobryshev against Ramazan Amirev. This fight made Bobryshev fans very nervous. fight started out very badly for Sergey. Almost a round and a half he spent on canvas. In the first, he was on his back mostly trying to fight off kicks. In the second round, he gave up his back and was again in the dangerous position. Amirov was the dominant. Bobryshev patiently fought back waiting for something. Probably he was waiting for a very moment to turn the course of the fight. And that chance came up in the middle of the second round. Ramazan Amirov was visibly tired by that time.
В первом раунде, да, я немножечко какой-то был немножечко.
In the first round, I was a little distracted. I slipped and fell. I didn't want to get up. I was working on Amirov. I was drawing energy out of him.
Вставать, обрабатывал я Амирова, вытягивал из него его энергию.
Definitely the Bobrishev's time came in the second round. First, fighter personally inflicted a heavy blow and then strangled the opponent from the back. A strong-willed victory of Sergey Bobryshev, who standing under the attack onslaught of Ramazan Amirov and who won a heavy victory, the third in the Gorilla MMA Series and the ninth in the career. This fight may well qualify for the Best Fight of the Year nomination in the audience vote on the results of this year. I mean, the fight was good. It's great, it's bigger. Let's practice the fight even harder.
Только тренироваться, будем бить еще сильнее.
After the fight, Sergey Bobryshev received the well-deserved prize of winning a similar nomination in the MMA Series Awards 2020. He shared this prize with Alexei Lubanov, but that time Sergey lost. This time he was stronger than his opponent. In general, Bobryshev continues to get up bright fights, even at the cost of the nerves of his fans. We would like to draw attention to the performance of another athlete in Kaliningrad. Oleg Kulikovo is a very experienced fighter in his 24 years. For the 30th Gorilla MMA Series event, he came up with 15 wins in 20 fights. Nikita Kochetkov is his opponent in the co-main fight of the event. This fighter was no less experienced. He had 19 fights behind him, in 12 of which he got victories. But in the end, it can be said that Kulikovo's victory was more than certain. He moved his opponent 3 times during the first round and ended up with a chokehold. The 16th victory of Kulikovo in the career and the 9th victory with a technique.
Мой соперник был Никита Кочетков с города Москвы.
My rival was Nikita Kochetkov from Moscow, a very serious athlete. He was a tall, patient guy in the fight. In principle, I fulfilled the plan for the fight. I did everything the coach said. I have no injuries. It was a very cool atmosphere. Thanks to MMA Series for the opportunity to perform. I'll be right back. Bye everyone.
Всем пока.
You see the results of all fights of the Gorilla MMA Series-30 Kulikovo Field 7 event on your screens. Let us know the bright and long-awaited debut of Ibrahim Ilyasov. Ilyasov is already known in the sports community for training with UFC star Petr Yan. In Kaliningrad, Ilyasov gave no chance to another debutant, Anthony Ivanov. Ibrahim immediately moved the opponent to the canvas and then simply beat him up. It may be difficult to judge a single fight, but it seems that Ibrahim Ilyasov has good prospects. It was a beautiful fight between Vladislav Bezobrazov and Rustamberg Nurjanov. Here, everything ended with a technical knockout in favor of Nurjanov. The fight is worth revising on the YouTube channel of Gorilla MMA Series. The fight between Roman Kurasov and Yevgeny Gontarov was equally striking. Each of the fighters was good, but the choking triangle at the end of the first round was successful to Kurasov. Well, that's how bright the 30th anniversary of Gorilla MMA Series event turned out to be. An event within the framework of which was the 300th fight in the series anniversary. It's Sportlife show and me, Alexandra Abramova. See you on TV.